is freeing.
Okay, hello. This is my third test recording of this particular scenario. I am in Microsoft Flight Simulator 2020. I am currently learning how to navigate VFR. We are going to be flying from Sedona, Arizona to Flagstaff, Arizona. And let's get started. Hopefully this works. If this works, it will be posted on the YouTube. Like I said, this is the third time I have tried this. Let's release the parking brake. Got my rudder pedals on, got both of the brakes down. We're going to increase the throttle all the way to maximum. We're going to let go of the brakes, and we're going to try to keep this thing straight. Sorry, I'm still adjusting my rudder pedals. They're a little twitchy at the moment. Oop. Let's see. Come on, go straight. Straight. Okay, we should be able to lift off. Yeah. Okay, she's going to want me to climb to 5,800 feet.
All right, we're off. Now, keep climbing around the airport till we reach 5,800 feet.
And to climb, we need to stay above about 50 knots, which is that gauge on the top left. Oh, flaps. Oh, no. There we go. Okay. She's going to want me to go back over the airport, so we're going to turn around and fly back over the airport while we're climbing here. No, climb. Climb. Yep, here we go. Come on, get up there. Fly, bitch, fly.
It goes without saying, but good navigation starts with good departure prep. Let's set up the aircraft for the first leg of your trip. Attitude? Check. Now for your heading. When you need to set and maintain a heading, you'll want to rely on your heading indicator. Compasses are prone to errors, especially during turns or while accelerating or decelerating.
All right, let's settle in.
Go ahead and position your plane above the airport. Oh, one last bit of departure prep. We need to validate the time. That's a fancy way of saying start the clock.
Start the clock.
On the nav log, you can see our next waypoint, Munns Park, is at a 41-degree heading about 5 minutes away. Navigating is basically flying a given heading for a given amount of time. Sometimes you deviate.
Let's do
but if
this.
you track the time flown from your last known position, you'll always have at least a range for your current position. We all know speed can increase or decrease depending on the wind. That's why at your next waypoint you'll want to compare your estimated time en route with the actual time flown. Validate your estimate and your progress.
Alright, I'm just trying to adjust my elevator trim here to stay kind of level. Try to stay at about 7,000 feet, even though that's not what she said. She didn't say what altitude to do other than 5,800, but obviously that mesa there in front of us that leads into that canyon is a little higher than 5,800 feet. Let's do this. No, we're climbing too much. Bring that trim down. Get rid of these yokes, they annoy me. One of the things pilots don't tell you is that you cannot see shit. Even in VFR, especially, you're supposed to be looking at your instruments all the time, I guess. Let's minimize this thing. It's getting annoying. We are looking for a golf course called Munns Park. And then she's going to want us to follow the highway to Flagstaff. Now, other than recording problems, I've been having a problem with my computer. When I start Final Approach in Flagstaff, my computer locks up and totally reboots in, I guess, Microsoft's new blue screen of death, which is now green, which surprised me. So I've done some things to try to correct the particular error that I've got. I've done check/R on, which is repair on both of my hard drives, because I do have data on this game stored on both of those drives. I have also updated my BIOS and kind of messed with my clock speeds to try to kind of make them optimal and stable. Hopefully that will help this out a little bit. If you want to know anything about my PC, it's one that I built several years ago now. It is an i7-4790K with 16 gigs of RAM and a eVGA GTX 1080 graphics card. My graphics settings in Microsoft Flight Simulator are kind of custom. I changed some things around to try to smooth out my frame rate. I'm running kind of a high with some medium details in order to try to keep my frame rate sort of smooth. Now, the game will drop frames just sort of randomly. You'll be cruising around just fine, not changing anything, and then all of a sudden frame rates will dip. And I'm sure you'll see this here soon, but we'll see how it goes. There's the golf course. I know it looks kind of gray and murky at the moment, but it's kind of green. It's just because there's cloud cover. If it were sunny, you'd see how bright green it was. You can kind of see the green to the right of it. Then there's the highway there that she's going to want us to follow. She's going to also want us to reset the clock, so let's go ahead and extend this again. It's supposed to take 4:57. We're right about on time. I think it's going to take just a little over 5. We'll see what it says when we get to it. 4:53, 54, 55. Yeah, we're going to be a little over 5.
You made it to Munns Park. According to the nav log, we've got one more stop. Flagstaff Pulliam Airport.
Alright, let's make our left-hand turn.
An easier way to navigate is to follow identifiable landmarks like highways. And just so happens we have one below us.
So she wants us to follow the highway. I don't know if it'll let me complete this little mission without following the highway, but let's follow the highway just because I want to check this one off. I'm tired of looking at this one, and then I've got to do it all over again as a quote-unquote solo flight. I also need to do something about my internet connection. I'm currently using a Powerline Ethernet adapter, which has worked fine, but we've been having some internet issues this week. And Cox installed some line amplifiers and some other stuff, and it seems to be messing with my Ethernet connection for some reason. I'm not really sure why. But you'll see that it disconnects me from the internet every now and then. Which in this game is vitally important because it's constantly pulling map data. You see it, there I am reconnected again. If you see me looking to the left, I'm looking to the computer that I'm currently recording on because I don't want to overtax this one by recording on it and flying at the same time. Now I do have the sound coming through my PC speakers, so I'm hoping that doesn't create too much feedback or echo, but we'll see when I check out the video. Ooh, vertical speed's way up there. Oh, nope, that's too much. I really need to adjust this trim knob a little bit. I need to adjust the dead zone on it because it is super sensitive. Oh, and the flight sticks and stuff that I'm using a HOTAS setup by Thrustmaster called the T16000M with the throttle. The throttle's got a little trim knob on the left of it, which is really kind of handy. And then I did purchase the rudder pack as well. So I do have rudders. I was bitching about those earlier. Oh, no, vertical speed, let's bring it down. Oh, I forgot to restart that. Gotta check off the checklist. There we go, we can minimize that. I'm tired of looking at it anyway. Still following that highway there. I mean, this game is just amazing looking. It's kind of a hazy day here in Flagstaff, Arizona. I guess we can take a look outside of the plane. Look at that. Isn't that cool? Alright, let's go back inside. Whoop, 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 whoop. Bring her down, bring her down, bring her down. The nice thing about this joystick is it uses Hall effect sensors, which are magnetic sensors, so all the movements are very, very smooth. Most joysticks use a tension system, so it is kind of nice to have this. It makes you look a little better, I guess. It's kind of like a golf, kind of like playing golf. You're supposed to buy your game, right? Get the best golf clubs you can possibly get. So I'm not a pilot. I was an air traffic controller for about 2 years back in the early 2000s. I decided that that was too much for me and transitioned into another career in the military, which as a civilian now, it's still a career that I do this day. That said, I've always wanted to be a pilot. It's always been a dream of mine. As a matter of fact, I'm thinking about trying to pursue at least a private pilot's license instead of a master's degree. I'm not that interested in a master's degree, but I would love to learn to fly planes. I think that would be one of the coolest things ever. Not necessarily as a career, though. Learning to fly big aircraft, heavies and stuff would be pretty cool, although you're just a glorified bus driver, if I'm honest, with a lot more to worry about. But I think traveling and just being in the air, there's something about being in the ground is nice, but there's something about water and air that I've just always been fascinated by. Always kind of at peace. Kind of like when I'm on my motorcycle. I have sports cars and stuff, but the motorcycle is where I find the most peace, if I'm honest. It's just
As
me.
you close in on Flagstaff Pulliam airspace, next step is setting up to enter the traffic pattern. We've got clearance to enter the downwind leg and land on runway 21. Keep your attitude, then follow the standard pattern.
Okay, so we're supposed to land on runway 21. If you were unaware, runway numbers don't correspond to like the number of runways in an airport or the number of runways in an area. It actually corresponds to the heading that the runway is facing. So every runway is 2 runways. So this one is, we're going to be landing on 21, but the exact opposite, 180 degrees from that, is runway 3. So those stand for 210 and 030 in terms of compass heading. So we know that our downwind turn, which runs perpendicular to our arrival turn, or our final turn, would be 030. So once we hit this mark up here, we'll be making a right-hand turn to 030. You can see my compass down here, so that's what I'm going to be looking at to make my turn, to make sure I'm on 030. And then after that, we'll do a base leg, which is 90 degrees to the left of that. Don't ask me to do that math right at the moment. I've had a couple of beers. Don't drink and fly, everybody. So let's see. Downwind turn's coming up.
Lower your nose to a cruise attitude and reduce your power.
Okay, we need to come down to 2300 RPM. Okay, try and maintain a heading of about 030. Let's bring our 2200 RPM. Now when I did this before, when I hit the base turn to go into final, she wanted me to drop the engine to idle. I don't find that I have enough power to make it to the airport on idle. I just don't have enough of a glide slope. I don't know if I'm starting too low or what the deal is. But we're going to keep the engine about halfway on my throttle here. No weird frame rate dips this time. That's pretty good. Pretty good 60 frames a second. That's what you want to see.
Power should be at idle now, so you're losing altitude while maintaining cruise attitude.
If you didn't know, oh, little frame rate dip there. If you didn't know, most monitors that you have on your computers at home, unless you've got a real serious gaming rig, run at 60 hertz, which is equivalent to 60 frames per second. So you want to see that right around 60 frames per second just to sort of maximize. So we're looking for heading 210 as soon as we see the runway. There it is.
Finally, a landing on runway 21, and we'll call this one done.
Yes, we will. Let's give it a shot. Let's not hit the trees. I hit the trees the last time. Once we're past the trees, I'm going to just cut the throttle. Alright, let's cut the throttle. Alright. Get ready to apply the brakes here. There we go. Bam! Nailed it!
All right, successful VFR flight in the books. Not bad. Not bad at all.
All right. Check. It's going to want me to do it next solo. So let's try that out. I will say that the load times in this game are atrocious, but honestly, with the amount of time you spend flying, last night I took oh, I don't know. Like I spent like 2 hours flying around places that I knew. And what's neat about this game is you can take off from literally any airport in the world. If you've ever watched my channel, you might know that I'm from Coolidge, Arizona. Well, I'm not from, but I lived there previously. And so I took off from Coolidge Airport, this little bitty know-nothing airport out in the middle of nowhere. No major commercial airlines fly in and out of there. Mostly just GA stuff, general aviation. All right, let's go.
Are you ready for this? You are going solo on a full VFR flight. You'll be departing Flagstaff Pulliam Airport, handling every navigational step on your way to Sedona.
Oh, we're reversing it. Interesting.
From takeoff to touchdown, it's all you.
Okay. So you get to see me reverse the flight.
Even if I'm not with you in the cockpit, I'm always with you in spirit.
Bring our RPM up. Release the brakes. Get up to about 55 knots. Pull back. Oh, sorry. Rudder pedals are a little twitchy. Pull up, pull up, pull up. All right. Flaps up. Frame rate dip there. Where's the airport now? There it is. Reach Munns Park Golf Course. Let's follow that highway. Where's that highway at? There. Looks like it's over there. Oh, there it is. There we go. There's the highway. It kind of disappears in those trees, doesn't it? You can see it pick up on the other side. Traffic down there. Golf course. We should be getting pretty close to it. course right there. Definitely a golf course. We'll hook a right. Probably at 220 or somewhere around there, I imagine. Come on, you gonna give me credit for it? I'm here. There we go. Is that 2-2? Oh, I see some red rocks there in the distance. That's got to be the right direction. Just cannot believe how real this game looks. It is just amazing. Truly, truly spectacular. That a thing like this exists, that I would see this. You know, when I was a kid, I was so obsessed with flight simulators. I had a neighbor who had some little Tandy computer, and I played Jet on that for the first time. And most of you probably have no idea what the hell Jet is. But it was the first flight simulator I can ever remember. I think it was supposed to be emulating maybe an FA-18 or an F-14, something like that. Then I certainly played like an F-14 game. How about the F-16 Falcon 4.0 game? Jane's was big back in the 90s for PC flight sims. And I probably had every one of those I could buy. It was pretty spectacular. Never did become a pilot, but was always obsessed with flying. I always thought that was the coolest thing ever. So I think, let's go forward here. I think they're just ahead of me to the left. You see that kind of, I know it's kind of hard to see, but like right here, I'm pretty sure that is the runway in the airport. I'm pretty sure. See if it, hopefully it doesn't make me do the base downwing and all that other stuff, because I'm kind of coming in, I have to circle the whole airport to do that. I don't really want to do that. I just want to come in direct approach. And that would be what, runway 21, you know. Pretty sure that's the airport right there. Oh yeah, that's gotta be it. That looks like it. Let's bring our engine RPM down. Gotta get ready here. Nose Well, it just says land the aircraft, so it's not expecting me to do anything crazy. Oh, flaps. Come on, don't crash. Let's do this the first time. Let's do this the first time. What do you say? What do you say? Yeah, let's do it. Cut the throttle. Come on down. Flare up. Alright, I think we did it.
Welcome back, and well done.
Nice! First try.
It's clear you're ready to fly anywhere on your own now. So, where to next?
I don't know if I would say that, but let's do it.
Some people say the sky's the limit. I say, it's just the beginning.
I'm pretty sure that's the same woman from Forza Horizon 4. Pretty sure. Yeah. Bam, bam, bam. Done, done, done. All right. Cool. All right. Well, that's the end of the flying lessons. I'm going to stop this recording and play it back for myself and make sure I sound okay. Maybe post this. Let's see what's going on.